Well, alrighty then. Alrighty, I'm running like a couple of minutes early, which is kind of unusual. Good evening, folks. Pastor Dixon here. Take a couple of minutes to look into some folks who I hope would want to be on. I'm going to try to discriminate on those who have asked not to. I say this every time that I get started, and every time I wind up tagging some folks who I know don't want to be, and I wind up apologizing every time. But it ain't like I just do it and don't apologize, and that's for sure. So if I tag somebody and you really don't want to be tagged on the lives at any given time, please feel free to untag yourselves. I'm good with that. I really mean no offense, and I want everybody to understand that. I mean no offense whatsoever. But sometimes I get to just pushing this little button to say tag friend, going down the list, and by the time I realized I got to somebody who didn't want to be tagged, it's already too late. So I'm just asking, in that case, please forgive me. Untag yourself and know that it wasn't anything intentional. All right? As we say, all right? Yeah. I'm praying everyone's had a good day today. Staying positive. Staying optimistic, knowing that a better day is coming. Knowing that yesterday was one day that we made it through. As we look forward to tomorrow and an opportunity to live life, love life, and share that with others as we move forward. I don't know why I get you every time, Representative. I am so sorry. Darn it. I think I need to stop running off at the mouth, huh? Yeah. So I'm going to hit up a few more people. I wish they had a way to untag folks when we do this. But once you hit the tag friend button, that's a done deal. And no matter how intentional I am about it, it seems like I always mess up. I guess that means I'm a work in progress. Hell, please forgive me. I sure ain't arrived. That's for sure. I got all types of faults, defects, and shortcomings. Without a doubt. No way have I arrived. And I guess that's why I can continue to walk humbly with my brothers and sisters. Because I ain't no different than anybody else. I'm not no better than anybody else. I'm just a nobody trying to tell everybody about somebody. I'm going to leave that right there. For those who know, y'all know how that thing ends. Okay, let me drop a couple of more names out here right quick. And hope to see some folks jump on. Okay, I think this is going to be good right here. All right. Excellent. Oh, we got some folks in the house. Good to see you all. Yeah. It's always good to see the good people. I think I said it the other night that one of the highlights of my times is to get, in this realm of social media and to do these lives and to look up and see all of the good people who connect in this medium, and we're able to really like have a one-on-one conversation. It's really a great thing. Evangelist Patricia Wright, good evening. Good evening, my sister. Sherry Simmons, Professor Damon Fordham, Man, I'm looking forward to next week, I believe it is, with the resolution. It's unfortunate that we are in this predicament right now with the coronavirus, the COVID-19 virus. It's ironic that we have had to change life as we know it in America. But know that as far as the recognition that the state house is going to give you, know that myself and others in the community, man, we give you that resolution every day from our hearts. It's written on our hearts because you are one of the greats that we have, and we really appreciate you. Brother Elvin Spates, what's going on? Jason, what's happening, brother? All power to the people. It's all good, Elvin. It's all good. Peace, my brother. Melissa, what's going on? C.G. Marley in the house. Alexis, how you doing? Shauna Leah? Yes, okay. Yes, we are. We're alive here in this moment, together in this moment, and we are blessed. That's right. Love to you and to Izan too, for sure. John Carlos in the house. Good to see you. Councilman, how you doing, my brother? Okay, Nia. Brother Leroy Harper in the house. Yes, yes, yes. Nicola, good evening. Cassandra, good evening. For sure. It's good to see all of you all. I'm going to give folks a couple of more minutes before I jump on into this. I amazed myself tonight. I started a little bit earlier, a minute or two earlier, which is kind of unusual for me. I kind of operate at times on that, what they used to call CP time. I got to do better. I got to do better, that's for sure. Yeah. So I pray everybody's had a great day today. In spite of. We have to learn to dig down deep within ourselves and to understand that we are an in spite of people. And I'm going to say that regardless of what your religious affiliations are, whatever your ethnicity is, as human beings, we are an in spite of type of people. When I look at the different ethnicities and it's all Mr. Good. Look, you can just call me Thomas, Nicole. It's all good. I ain't big on them titles for sure. The title don't make the person. Okay, that's for sure. We call a whole lot of people by titles they never live up to. Hey, so it's all right. You can call me Thomas. It's cool. I'm good with that. Unless you just want me to be the old guy, then I could be Mr. or Pastor. It's cool. But as we look at humankind. All right, Brother Aaron, what's going on? Nettie, humankind has the ability to move forward in spite of the circumstances and situations that we encounter. Somehow or other. And I've been out on this battlefield of social justice for a while now. And I've stood by some people whose lives have been destroyed, especially through gun violence, through unfair wages, all different type of situations, unable to pay hospital bills and make a decision whether to buy food or medicine. I've been with those people, but somehow or another, we as humankind, like I said, regardless of religious affiliation, ethnicity, zip code, economic status, we as a people have the ability to continue to move forward in spite of. And I personally like living in the realm of in spite of. In spite of says that there's nothing that can hold me back. I don't give a darn whether it's the KKK or the white supremacists. I don't care whether it's the coronavirus or anything else. There's nothing that can hold us as a people back from getting to the next day. Nothing. We have an ability to overcome our situations, to rise above our situations, not to share the pain that the situation might have caused, not to miraculously recover from the situation that we might be in, but to move beyond that point to the next point with a sincere hope that that next point is going to be a better point. Yep, we have that unique ability as human beings to be able to do that. I thank you, Brother Damon. I really do thank you for that. I try hard, coming out the prison system and everything, the 30 years of alcohol and drug addictions. Man, it's an honor and a privilege to be thought of as an elder, and even somebody who others might even think about respecting. It's an honor. It's a big comeback, and that's for sure. That is for sure. So I'm going to resume where I kind of left off at the other night, talking about the conditions with the coronavirus and everything. But just in the opening that I was speaking of, and I've talked about like Marvin Gaye and what's going on, and I'm still going to do a live, the gospel according to Marvin Gaye and what's going on. Okay, the gospel according to what's going on. I'm going to do a live on that. So y'all stand by. Get ready for that one. It's going to be good. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But in coupling up with the opening that I just gave, I just want everybody to know, just like Tupac said, you got to keep your head up. You got to keep your head up. For sure. Ain't no sense in us panicking out here. Ain't no sense in us hearing the reports. Then the reports are not good. But that don't mean we have to drop down and let them consume us. We can't allow that to happen. That's why we see panic buying, and we see people, the newest panic buying is guns. Like folks waiting, this is some kind of zombie apocalypse or something. We got to get a gun, we got to get some guns, we got to get some guns. Some people saying, man, I got to get some toilet tissue and some TP. Other folks, instead of going for toilet tissue, they want to go get guns. Yep. To each his own. That's for sure. But this is a time when we cannot allow the circumstances around us, what is going on around us with this pandemic, with the coronavirus, with COVID-19. We cannot allow that to consume us, so that we might not contract the disease of the virus, but we still make ourselves sick because we got it locked up in here that doom and gloom is inevitable. Brother Joseph, peace. Sean, how you doing? We have got to understand. Tiffany, good to see you. We have got to understand that in spite of what's going on around us, in spite of the coronavirus, in spite of everything that's happening, we can make it through. We can make it through. So in starting, just like I did the other day, I just want to make sure that I send a shout out to those who really deserve our frontline people. Everybody who's making it through, everybody who's an in spite of person right now, who's not dropping down to the level of I call it the Eeyore level. Oh, woe is me, woe is me. Everybody that's not dropping down to that deserves credit for it. But there's special folks out here that's grinding, who don't miss a beat, who get up every day and do what others don't do. Oh, that's nice, Tiffany. That's nice. I don't know how you did that. That's pretty. Who do what other folks can't even do for themselves. And that's our healthcare workers. Man, our healthcare workers, our first responders, our doctors, our nurses, our radiologists and OR techs, and our environmental services people, our housekeepers in the hospitals, and our workers that work in central sterilization, and our food service people, all are part of the healthcare system that when and if anyone contracts this disease, those are the people you're going to go to for care. And these people are in those places because they care. They put themselves in harm's way because this is the gifting that has been implanted in their heart to serve God's people. Why else would a person leave their family situation and the comfort and security of home to go into a work situation that is potentially lethal? But they do it. And they do it every day. It's amazing. These are some of the great, people pat presidents on the back, some of them. I like Barack Obama. I pat him on the back personally. That's my belief. You ain't got to agree with me. It's okay. We can agree to disagree. I still love you. But these people, they outweigh, even in my heart, of Barack Obama, because they're out here doing the job. I got a friend, Michelle Felder, right? She's been with the coalition from day one. She come from a history like mine, for sure. But she's a healthcare worker, and she got one of them frames on her social media, on her Facebook page, and it reads, "I can't stay home. I'm a healthcare worker." All props from me, for sure. And I encourage all of our healthcare workers. What's up, wifey? I see you. Maybe we need to put that on your Facebook profile too. I can't stay home. I'm a healthcare worker. Man, that's powerful. That's powerful. When they tell everybody else, stay at home, if don't come out, do this, healthcare workers cannot do that. There are some who will quit their job and not do it. But that's an indication of where their gifting is actually lies at. They might be good at their jobs, but if they don't follow through, they're a different level of person than that person that gets up and says, this is my job. I'm here to help people, and I'm going in spite of the risks to me, and even the possibility of me leaving work even after the protective measures, with something and take it home that I really don't need to be taken home. Those are great people to me. Great people. Right along with our law enforcement officers who are out here, our firemen and women that are out here. Special shout out, I say again, to our teachers. Our teachers are doing some amazing work out here. Amazing. They might not be in the classrooms right now, but they're bringing the classroom to students, to their students. They're connecting with their students in the virtual world. They're connecting students. Sherry, just hit me up afterward. Inbox me, okay? How can we support them here in North Charleston? But they're putting in work according to their gifting, because they get up, just like healthcare workers get up to serve in the healthcare profession. They get up every day to teach our children. Now, I'm going to put this side note caveat on there. I'm going to just let y'all know, because this is me. And that's why I don't understand why they don't get more respect for the work they do. We need to make sure our teachers are not only getting respect for what they do, but they're getting compensated properly for what they do. We need to stop it. And with that being said, I'm going to still give credit to our elected officials, many of whom have been working nonstop since this virus crossed the American shores, or when we think it crossed the American shores, because it might have been here long before that. The first death didn't just happen. It was after a 14-day incubation period. So it had been here already. But our elected officials, many of them don't go home. They haven't been home in days, because they're trying to make sure that the people that they swore, that they raised their right hands to serve and to protect, that they're really serving them and protecting them. Not all of them. Not all of them, but some of them. And we know the ones that are really out here doing that job, putting in that work. Because they don't just put in work when we got a coronavirus. They don't just put in work when when a young man is shot in his back for fleeing from a law enforcement officer. They don't just put in work when a church basement full of Christians is shot up one night. No, they put in work regularly, and they're out here interacting with the community and talking with the community and listening to the community, and not holed up in their ivory tower somewhere. Real elected officials. So it's those real elected officials I'm giving a shout out to tonight. Those that don't just talk about it, they be about it. I got Mike London, Councilman Mike London on here right now. He don't talk about it, he be about it. And that's what it's all about, for sure. I'm going to give prop what prop is due. And part of that prop, when it comes to thanks for essential services tonight, definitely want to give a shout out to all of the service organizations out here. That's an army of service organizations that's out here helping in whatever capacity they can. They're feeding people, they're clothing people. Man, I saw Uplift Charleston with Aaron Comstock and his team out there this evening feeding folks down on Rivers Avenue, for sure. You know, I got Willie Potts just jumped on. I'm working with his wife and another group, the Walking Women's Welfare Movement, dealing with homeless women. You know, there's so many organizations. There's an army of people out here who just get up every day because they have a heart to help people, and they get out and they grind in order to make sure that the least of these are treated like they're the greatest of these. And that's powerful to me. That's powerful. And to see them working, I try to get in where I fit in. I ain't always there, but I try to. But just to see the work that they're putting in, it's uplifting to me. It's empowering to me. It's inspirational to me. And I salute each and every one of you all from the bottom of my heart. Y'all the best. LT, Mike Aiken, what's going on? All right, good to see you. North Charleston's finest in the house, that's for sure. Good to see you. Anytime. Y'all, I'm keeping you all in my prayers too, and that's for sure. Sydney, what's going on? All right, good to see you. All righty. Our teachers representing tonight in the house. So, again, for you healthcare workers, please, put that frame on there. Put that Facebook frame on your profile that says, I can't stay home. I'm a healthcare worker. Man, that's powerful. That's powerful. I got two teachers back to back just chimed in. Sydney and Faye. Faye, how you doing? All righty. So, Faye knew me before I even got to this place right here. When I came out the prison system, was working over at Vigories on Shem Creek. I used to sit over the restaurant over there in the morning. That's where I first met Faye at. That's all right. You're not that late. It's all right. Had to catch myself. It's all right. Yeah. Way back, 2001, 2002, around there. That's for sure. And she saw this whole transition. That's when I wore do-rags more than I do now. I still wear do-rags. That's right. I'm still about it. Ain't too much change. It's still off in here, okay? It's still off in here. It's just that I have a different presentation, that's all. Sometimes that presentation go back, okay? Y'all can see it. That's for sure. And we still got the enough scarf rocking, that's for sure. And we're still trying to keep the dream alive, that's for sure. And I'm still that same individual, just with a different heart from a long time ago. Nisi, what's going on? All righty. Yes, Reverend Jackson, definitely. So, the coronavirus, because I want to roll on through this thing tonight, get it said, and I'm going to come back probably, this being Thursday, probably Sunday, okay, with about a 3-day break unless something really, really crazy goes on, like these numbers, instead of doubling, they quadruple. Because just like I said the other day, Sunday they doubled until Tuesday they almost doubled until Thursday, okay? Stand by, folks. This is serious. This is not a joke, okay? I'm lighthearted and everything because I want everybody to know that we still are, as I started out, and in spite of people, in spite of the numbers doubling from Sunday to Tuesday, then from Tuesday to today, we are still and in spite of people. And we can always look toward tomorrow for that change that we might not have seen today. Because today is better than yesterday, okay? No matter how bad it seems. So when it comes to this virus, when it comes to total number of cases, first off, around the entire globe, around the entire world, there's been a total of 207,860 diagnosed cases, okay, which to many doesn't seem like it's a whole lot. And there are those who would seek to trivialize that number and say, man, you know how many billions of people there are on the planet? Yeah, I know. But we had 207, almost 208,000 total cases worldwide. But out of those, the death toll as of right now is almost 9,000. It's 8,657. So if you had a chance to ask any one of those who died from this or their family members that if this was a trivial thing, if this was not that important, well, it was only 208,000 people. Ask any one of those folks who either died, which you can't, or those who are left behind to grieve their loss. Those people are just important as the other billions of people, and their lives matter too. So globally, it's been almost 208,000 cases diagnosed, primarily because a lot of the diagnosis is two things. We don't have the tests available in order to diagnose the cases, and the other side is the 14-day incubation period when a person could actually have this virus and communicate and infect people with this virus, but there are no symptoms whatsoever. None. Just walking around having a good time, go to church and everything and carrying on, praise God and everything, and then a few days later, bam, Corona didn't hit. Yeah, that's how this thing works. So we don't know the actual numbers in spite of that. And even the death toll is only an approximate number. We don't know what the real number is. Right now, the number I quoted is close to 9,000. I believe that it's a lot more than that, okay, globally. In the United States, which, you know, we really haven't been dealing with this more than a couple of weeks, right? When it started with one death on the West Coast, then it started to travel east from the West Coast. Well, confirmed cases in the United States right now are over 11,000. Over 11,000. Since Tuesday. New cases since Tuesday. Almost 6,000 new cases since Tuesday. And these are cases, not deaths. Okay, I want this to be known. Cases, not deaths. Thank you, Nisi. Globally. See, earlier today, I put that number, 8,657. I wrote that down earlier today. Nisi just said globally it's 9,867. That's 100 more than earlier today when I jotted it down. You see how folks are dropping because of this? Now you're trying to tell me that, it's a whole lot more people who ain't dying from it. Tell that to these people that's dying from it and their families. I ain't trying to feel that. This is important. Why? Because any one of us at any given time, and our loved ones, our children, could be one of those in the number. Could be one of those in the number. So when we talk about it at the end of this tonight, I'm going to talk about what we need to be doing. Once again, what we need to be doing. And those people who still playing them games and carrying on, man, you're just putting everybody in jeopardy. Look at them kids down there at the beach down in Fort Lauderdale, man. Look at here. The next time you open up your Webster's dictionary, they don't even have dictionaries no more. Google in Webster's dictionary the word FOOLS, FOOLS, and watch what pop up. It's going to be a picture of them kids down there in Fort Lauderdale on the beach. Fools. The one fool, they always find that one. Oh man, I'm a party anyway. I ain't scared of no corona. I'm a party. You're gonna have a toe tag on it one day. Keep that up. Either that or you're gonna infect. How many more people will he infect through this? I wish him well. I hope he's right. But the evidence does not bear out that. And the word went out to those kids on that beach. This ain't no vacation. Go home. Save yourself. And I do believe that a government proclamation went out closing that beach. I believe closing those beaches, I think. I'm not sure, but I think so. So, United States, total cases to date, 11,000. Okay, new cases since Tuesday, 5,894, almost 6,000. These numbers are not correct. Okay, they're greater than what I'm quoting. Okay, because the number is steadily going up. The death toll in the United States. If you remember, Tuesday it was 106. Sunday it was 50. Tuesday it was 106. Tonight it's 193. Almost double what it was Tuesday, the death toll. And we playing around. And just think, every one of those that has died, or every one of those diagnosed cases, has come into people in their families, in their workspace, in the store, at the gas station, at church. They've come into people with the ability to communicate this disease to every last one of them. And it's going to affect those who contract this disease in some manner or another, some mildly, some in a major way. Some will experience a mild amount of symptoms. Some might not experience all. Others, it could kill them. And the thing is, the persons that are communicating the disease, they don't know who's going to catch it and who's not going to catch it. And if they're, one, unaware because it's in the incubation period, you can't fault them because they don't know. And if they know and they're still going out here in the public, they're really wrong. Because the word is now, just don't go outside if you don't have any. I'm sitting on my back porch, right? Fenced in back porch. I'm sort of inside, but I'm out on the porch. Nobody around. Nobody but some bugs flying around that if they contract the disease and just drop, I'm good with it, okay? I love bugs too, though. That's all right. But stay home. Stay home. Keep it confined and contained. Because ultimately, the government is probably going to tell us to do it. To make us do it. Okay. I think they're trying to give everybody an opportunity to do it ourselves. But, that day is going to come to an end. So that's the United States death toll. What about here in South Carolina? In South Carolina, we're up to 81 cases as of today, and that was earlier today. 81 cases as of today, up by 21 since yesterday. 20 more diagnosed cases today than it was yesterday. 29 of these cases was in Kershaw County. Now, there's a problem in the numbers, though, especially in the United States. Why? Because we got a lot of people who want to get tested but can't get tested. But now there's more testing available, so we're going to see a spike in the number of cases because now we're starting to finally get tests out here into the public sector where people are having the opportunity to really get tested, whereas we didn't have those a week ago, that access a week ago. So now that we have more people that are testing, we're going to see more people showing up positive for this virus, and the numbers are going to jump up of those testing positive. Number of cases, it's going to jump up. Okay? Let there be no doubt in our minds about it. It's going to jump up. And you can't run from this thing. It's here. You can't run from it. Dr. Linda Bell, okay? Some of you might have been watching our press conferences with the governor and his team and everything. And there's a little short, small-framed young lady or woman who's part of the team, Dr. Linda Bell. She's with the South Carolina, with DHEC, okay? And she compared the coronavirus outbreak to the influenza pandemic of 1918. Okay, she's compared it to the influenza outbreak of 1918. From 1918 to 1920, this pandemic of influenza infected over 1/3 of the entire world's population. 500 million people were infected. In 2 years' time, 500 million people around the globe were infected, and it actually ended the lives of anywhere between 20 million and 50 million people. And Dr. Bell compared this virus, this strain, this coronavirus, the COVID-19, to the influenza pandemic of 1918. Is this serious? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And please, man, I love all of you all. Let's start treating this like it's serious. Okay? It's no joke. I talked about those kids out on the beach, right? And one of the main things that has been put forth, Brother Nate, what's going on? Happy birthday, brother. Lydia, how are you this evening? Buenas noches. I talked about those kids out there on the beach, right? I call them kids. They might be in their 20s or something like that, for sure. And, one of the problems is that the initial reports said that this virus attacks old people, that old people are the most susceptible. Actually, they didn't even say the most susceptible. They said that older people were the ones who were going to contract it, especially over 60 years old. Okay. So there were a lot of people under 60 years old, a lot of our millennials and Gen X, Y, and Zers who said, well, we good. We ain't got to worry about this. Know what's going on. Vic, what's happening? Alrighty. We don't have to worry about this virus because it's about them old people. They gonna get it. They've got weakened immune system. Shoot, we out here jogging and everything, man. We go into the Planet Fitness and we on the treadmill and we eating good and we vegan and we all of these different things. Ain't nothing gonna happen to us. But the reality is, and this is what the data supports, that 40% of those who are being hospitalized globally for COVID-19, the novel coronavirus, 40% are in the age bracket from 20 years old to 54 years old. For almost half of those getting hospitalized are between 20 years old and 54 years old. Are those the fatalities? Are the fatalities in that bracket? I don't think so. I think it might be the older ones or those who have weakened immune systems already. But then again, we don't even know with these 20 to 54-year-olds. There are a lot of them walking around who don't realize that they have weakened immune systems. Hello, somebody. And this virus can just as soon attack them as it would a 68-year-old man like myself or a 78 or 80-year-old senior. Because I ain't no senior, okay? I ain't no senior. I'm just 68 for sure. And could attack one of them, and they actually wind up on the fatality list because of it. I'm not making this stuff up, folks. I'm not making this stuff up. A lot of these kids, they don't know whether they have any pre-existing conditions. And to believe the lie that, okay, this is an old folks disease, a virus, they're the only ones who are going to catch it and die, that's totally false. Nearly 50% of those who have been hospitalized with the coronavirus have been between the ages of 20 and 54 years old. Well, thank you, Nisi. I appreciate that. I feel 68 though. Believe that. For sure. Now there's a bright spot. I don't even know if I should say the bright spot because I'm one of those folks that believe that when things break that you shouldn't say nothing about it because it might get worse or something like that. But I'm gonna go ahead on and drop it out here. Ground zero for the coronavirus, the epicenter of coronavirus, is a place in China called Wuhan. Wuhan. That's where it's believed to have started at. What's amazing is over the last day or so, there have been no new cases reported in Wuhan. No new cases reported in Wuhan. Is it because of the measures that they put in place and the people did what they were supposed to do? Is it because there's another part of this virus that we don't know that has an end date that we don't know about? Is it because God decided to have a miracle? I don't know. We don't know. But as of today, okay, there have been no new cases reported in Wuhan. I encourage everybody. I put it out there because it's the truth and it's a fact. But do not look at that as this is an indication that this virus goes into remission or goes away. We don't know. I'm just saying what's happened. And if it's like that a week from now, then maybe we can start to believe in it. But until we see some substantive evidence over time of change, then we can't just rock with it and say, oh, that's the way it is. It's all right. Okay, we are good now. Nope. Keep your guards up. Keep watching. Keep doing all of the things necessary in order to make sure that neither you contract this disease or no one in your family contracts it because you decided to not pay attention to the warnings out here and to do what's been said in order to not contract this disease. Okay. But if you get it, what's going on right now after this? It's over 2 weeks in the United States and everything. They're supposedly working hard about these, trying to find treatments or whatever for it, because the reality as far as vaccines, and I heard somebody say something about the vaccine, I think it was somebody out of the White House, about, we got a vaccine coming and blah, blah, blah. The vaccine is no less than a year to a year and a half off. From now, we won't see a vaccine for this thing until late 2021 or 2022. Okay, so the only thing that we can have hope in is the fact that they're developing, they're working on, they're trying to figure out how to treat this so people don't die. And they've come up with some treatments. Okay, some treatments. Okay. One of them is a drug that was originally developed and administered to treat Ebola, and it's called Remdesiver. I know I just adulterated or obliterated that name, but it's Remdesiver or something like that. Remdesiver, V-I-R. Okay. But remember, I said these are things that they're testing right now, but they're thinking that this other drug might be a more viable match in order to treat those infected with the coronavirus, and it's a drug called chloroquine or hydroxychloroquine. It's actually an anti-malarial treatment that's been in use since around 1945. This drug, they're very optimistic about it as far as the treatment. So we need to keep the prayers up as far as the research that's being done, the testing that's being done, that maybe this will be something that will help. How long are we out from finding that out? Well, it's supposed to be being fast-tracked on the research scale, but who knows what fast-track really means, I'm just putting out the information right now. Hold on. Okay. There's another thing that they're doing called antibody therapy. So with antibody therapy, what they do is they create an injectable substance from the blood of somebody who contracted the disease already but recovered. So you got somebody that caught coronavirus and they recovered. They take the blood plasma and they do whatever they do to process it, and then they inject it in the person who has it, and if it works properly, that person gets better. It's called antibody therapy. Okay, that's another thing that they're looking into also. And like I said, these are all things that our government, our doctors, our scientists, I use that word. It's amazing how all of a sudden in this pandemic, people who never believed in science believing in science now and trusted in the scientists. I hope they do that with our environment. Stop playing these games, believe in global warming. I'm going to leave that alone, okay? That's for whole nother night, okay? But we don't know the effectiveness of any of these yet, whether they will be or whether they won't be. They're being tested and researched to to see if they will work in the treatment of COVID-19 coronavirus. Okay? Everybody, just understand that, and understand the fact that an actual vaccine, like we have vaccines for the flu and we have vaccines for polio and all these other things, well, this vaccine is at least a year to a year and a half away. All right. Now, there's been some crazy things going on too that deals with preparation. Okay. How many of y'all know that the United States was in no way prepared for this at all? None whatsoever. That's why we're in the predicament that we're in right now. Instead of proactively taking measures in order to make sure that we had protocols in place and supplies and backup supplies in place in case something like this happens. Instead of doing that, we just let it go. We said, all right, it's going to be all right, it's going to be all right. The United States never did that when it came to bombs, did we? As soon as we heard Russia had a bomb, we had to get a bigger bomb. When we found out they had 10 bombs, we had to get 20. We found out they had 100, we had to get 200. Found out they had the atom bomb, well, we had to rush our technology to beat them. To get it before them. We were thinking proactively when it comes to how we deal in death and destruction, but when it comes to saving lives and protecting people on our shores, we are caught with our proverbial pants down by the coronavirus that we actually saw coming from China through Europe and through the West Indies on over to our shores, and we ignored it. Yeah, I'm going to say it. Our president ignored it. Since January, ignored it. Oh, it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. No problem. We got this under control. It's all right. Yeah. And because of that, we got people dying. Man, somebody need to file a serious lawsuit. But I ain't going to. That's for sure. I know a bunch of church folks will say, well, we praying for them. Yeah, when you get off your knees, file a lawsuit. Sure, especially if you lose somebody. But in this preparation, right? We are dealing with an airborne pathogen. We are dealing with a virus that can be communicated through the droplets that come out of our mouth in a regular conversation. When in a regular conversation, droplets come out of our mouth that we can't even see. Okay, some people are a little worse than others, especially those that be drinking and carrying on. That's for sure. You can actually see it come out their mouths sometimes. But normal folks, in the run of a conversation, these droplets come out of our mouths. So one of the easiest ways in order to prevent the spread of coronavirus or any virus is to have masks, protective coverings over the face, over the nose and over the mouth. Over the eyes, if you see some of the hazmat people, they have a face shield that prevents anything from getting into the eye gate, because any of these open orifices is a welcome host for this virus. So it seems like in preparation that the nation would have said, man, we need to have much backup in case this ever happens, especially in the light of we had several influenza pandemics, several. We've had several other types of, the Black Death, we've had that. We had Ebola, all these different things. And it seems like we would have, in our preparedness, in our intelligence, in our battle to prevent this, we would have had stocks and supplies. But guess what? We don't have stocks and supplies of masks, not even for our healthcare people that are out here every day risking life and limb and the possibility of contracting this virus by going to work to help people and to save other people's lives. We don't even have enough masks for them. It's estimated that they're actually going to run out of those masks extremely soon, very soon, and they're actually encouraging healthcare workers to, and I'm not lying about this, to reuse their masks as much as possible, and then until when they wore out, then throw them away. Okay, reuse their masks, which is extremely dangerous. They're telling them to use scarves, wear scarves or bandanas around their faces, instead of having these masks that are known to block these pathogens from entering, and just keep on working. Our government cares a heck of a lot about our healthcare workers, right? Not really. To even say something like that is ridiculous. And now, because we're behind the proverbial 8-ball on this whole thing, now they're trying to hustle and get these companies to produce and mass produce and get them out and whatever, when we should have just had them in a stockpile somewhere, just like we got bombs stockpiled somewhere. What's wrong with us? What's wrong with us? You know what's wrong with us? Let me tell you what's wrong with us. The government was made aware of through a study that was done, actually not a study, but an experiment that was done last year, that we were ill prepared for a pandemic. And the specifics were noted at the end of the study. It was called the Crimson Contagion. The Crimson, Crimson, Contagion, Contagion. And it was an exercise that was conducted by the Health and Human Services Department last year from January until October, where a pandemic similar to what we're going through today was simulated. Okay, it was all simulated. And it involved dozens of states and federal agencies, as well as charitable groups, insurance companies, and major hospitals who were all invited to take part in this exercise. And the outcome of that exercise was, we are not prepared to handle a pandemic, an epidemic, should it arise. This was a verified report from last year that our government wrote concerning our ability to handle something just like this, based on a simulated exercise from January to October. We know exactly, they knew exactly what it would take in order to encounter or to counter this type of a pandemic. But what happened? What happened? Oh, it's all right. It's all right. You know, that's that Chinese disease. Yeah, please. That's not me saying that. That's a quote. Okay. Now, make sure y'all understand that. That's them people over there. That's Italy, and that's it. By the way, Italy just had, I think, 4,000 more deaths over the last day or two. Okay. That's them people over there, yeah, for the 3 months or so. You know, even though in spite of last year, we had this report written saying we were not ready. Why didn't we get ready? Why didn't we get ready? Instead of trying to defend an impeachment, why didn't we get ready for a pandemic? I don't understand that. I don't understand that. Here's a quote that was from the article that I read. And I'm going to put the link. Actually, the link is on my Facebook pages, okay? It's a New York Times article. And here's a quote from it. It says, "The work done over the past 5 years, however, demonstrates that the government had considerable knowledge about the risks of a pandemic and accurately predicted the very types of problems Mr. Trump is now scrambling belatedly to address," unquote. Hey, Kristen, what's going on? Brother Glover, Reverend Glover, what's going on? Gina, what's happening? Alrighty. I say it again. Let me read it again. "The work done over the past 5 years, however, demonstrates that the government had considerable knowledge about the risks of a pandemic and accurately predicted the very types of problems Mr. Trump is now scrambling belatedly to address." Why we handle it? Well, we take care of our cars, don't we? We have Before we have a problem with our cars, we go get the maintenance work on it, don't we? We do things in our homes in order to preserve our homes, don't we? Outside and inside. Why is it that our government didn't think that the human lives of its citizens was important enough to do the preventive maintenance so that we would have been ready for this darn pandemic? Why? 193 dead in the United States as of today. And that's what's known. And that's twice as much as it was, almost twice as much as it was 2 days ago. And the numbers 2 days ago was almost twice as much as it was 4 days ago. Why? I don't understand it. You can't tell me you care about somebody, but you will not prepare ahead of time in order to make sure that they don't get harmed. I guess I can understand it, because it's the same people that did that has allowed this to happen, the same ones who won't pass common sense gun legislation that might save some lives from dying from gun violence, who won't expand our universal health care in order to save people that way. It's the same people. So I guess I should understand it, but I don't understand it. I don't understand cold-hearted people like that, for sure. It's crazy. It's crazy. So it's amazing, though, when we really look at the reality of it. And I posted this up on my pages too the other day. The reality is that all of the things that some of us have been pushing for years, who have been trying to get these, and I'm going political, okay? Please, forgive me. If you don't want me to talk about it or whatever, please step away. It's okay. I'm good with that. But I'm going to go political on this, because a lot of these same issues are the issues that we've been fighting against the Republicans, our 2/3 majority Republican Congress, 2/3 majority General Assembly Republicans. We've been fighting with them to get these things put through. For years, we've been asking about these things. And the COVID-19 coronavirus has revealed things that our nation could have been doing to serve the underserved. But instead of serving the underserved, they've really served the underserved up for death and destruction. This guy, his name is Robert Sensai, Sensai. He was a 2005 Columbia High School graduate who attended the University of South Carolina after he exited high school. On his Facebook page, he says he's a professional student, constantly studying and learning more about life. But on Tuesday, the 17th, he posted this, okay? And I'm going to just read through it without the commentary. And I just want you to understand the comments that I just made about our Republicans, who we've been trying to get these things put through, and they've just blocked it and blocked it and blocked it and blocked it. Here's what he wrote. COVID-19 is showing you the facts that American capitalism has lied about. It's showing how many of you support socialism when it's convenient for you or the people you care for. Speaking to whom? Speaking to those same Republicans who always say, socialism this, socialism that, socialism. Yeah. It's showing how many of you support socialism when it's convenient for you or the people you care for. Children could have gotten laptops and free Wi-Fi this whole time. Wi-Fi could have been a utility this whole time. Stores could have been allowing seniors to shop for 1 hour assisted. Could have been doing this. Stores could have closed earlier in order to give stockers and cleaners proper time to stock and to recover. This whole time they could have been doing that. College students could have a frozen interest rate on student loans this whole time. Pregnant women, disabled people, and single parents could have worked from home this whole time. Abandoned federal buildings could have been used to house the homeless people this whole time. Students could learn from home instead of being suspended for a lack of transportation to school this whole time. Bill payment could have been furloughed this whole time. Evictions for hard times could have been delayed this whole time. Co-pays and other out-of-pocket health provider fees could have been waived. They're doing them now. Could have been doing this all the time. Not turning someone's electricity or water off in desperate times so they can survive could have happened this whole time. Airfare could have been cheaper this whole time. Sick people could have been encouraged to take time off and given paid time off to care for themselves. Wow. Everything that he listed is true. That could have been happening the whole time, for years now. And there's some more things that could add to this list. The bottom line, he said, the bottom line, and I quote, he said, the bottom line is humanity could have been humane this whole time. And who do I fault personally? He didn't mention it. He didn't say it once in there, but I'm going to say it. I'm going to fault this 2/3 majority Congress that we have. Now we still have the Senate that's still 2/3 majority Republican. And this 2/3 majority South Carolina House of Representatives. And the many Republican city leaders that we have across this great state, or soon to be great state of South Carolina, once we vote their behinds out. That's my rant about the political folk. Although I'm going to add one more caveat that he didn't end in there. Okay, I heard a conversation about the stimulus package, and I know I'm just at the 1 hour mark. I'm going to try to wrap this thing up about the stimulus package. Okay, the bill that went through in the Senate was voted 90 in favor of and 8 against. Okay, just yesterday, and guess who? One of those who voted against it was our good South Carolina Senator Tim Scott. Yes, Tim Scott said, let's not do this thing about the stimulus package. That's not a good idea. And he had his reasons, okay? And his reasons actually had to do with small business and the impact it'll have on small business. But you see, the problem is when you stick around with people who don't really understand the dynamics of how things really work, and you believe that, you start to talk like them. And Tim don't know what he's talking about when it comes to our small businesses. Okay, first off, I don't know what that bill said, but we are smart enough to know for certain that we need to build in mechanisms within any kind of stimulus package that will not put small business out of business. Now, if they're making $174,000 a year and they did not do that, then we need to fire every last one of them. Every last one of them need to be fired, okay? Because we ought to be smart enough to know that in any stimulus package that we cannot put small business out. But see, that's a talking point for the Republican Party, and it's been that way. Why do I say that? I say it because that's a talking point that they use when it comes to the fight for 15 and giving people a living wage. They say, oh, that's just going to put the small businesses out of business. Lies you tell. First off, we smart enough to build in mechanisms in there to not require the small businesses to do that until they come up to a certain level. The other part of that is the people who make the least amount of money spend the most money. And guess where they're going to spend it at? They're going to spend it right in small businesses and everywhere in order to, which will increase their annual revenue, will cause them to have better revenue, better capital coming in. They'll be able to eventually not only be able to hire more people as small businesses, but as their annual income grows, then they can also be required to come up to the same level of living wages. It's the same principle with the stimulus package that Tim Scott did not get because he didn't get the fight for 15 and living wages, and how living wages is how you really build an economy, because those who make the least spend the most money. You take somebody that's making $7.25 an hour and you pay them $15 an hour, they're going to spend all of that, twice as much, back into the economy. back into the stores, back into the small business stores, the big business stores. And then we make sure that the big business stores, they say, oh no, you wait until your profit margins start coming in. You're not going to increase the cost of anything. So when it comes to that stimulus package, apparently he don't get it. He don't get it. And he voted against it along with 7 other Republicans. All of those who voted against the stimulus package yesterday were Republicans. All 8 of them, with 90 others voting in favor of it. Sad. It took a pandemic and people to get sick and die for our government to decide to take care of its people. I say again, it took a pandemic and for people to get sick and die for our government to decide to take care of its people. But, and I'm not a harsh person or whatever. If that's what it takes, then so be it. Maybe that's the lesson inside of all of this. Maybe that's the lesson inside of this. Okay? And with that, that's the encouragement to keep your head up. Maybe that's the lesson. Maybe now, all of the things we've been pushing for, all of the things we've been working for, all of the things that our Republican General Assembly and our Republican Congress, our Republican municipal officials, all of those things that we've been talking about, now they see they can do that. So when we go to fight again after the pandemic is over, they got no excuse but to not only listen, but to do. And I guarantee you, Pastor Dixon gonna push that fight. I'm taking it to him with all I got. Straight up. You're not just gonna do right by the people when it's a pandemic going on. You're gonna do right by the people every day. As a matter of fact, look here, black folk been involved in a pandemic in America for 400 years. We got a 400-year-long pandemic. Ain't never done right by us. For sure. I'm just drop that one out there too. So in closing, let me just talk about it. Okay, symptoms. The symptoms that you need to look for. Okay, first off, understand there's a 14-day, that they know of, incubation period where you are highly contagious and you can communicate this disease to anyone around you. Anyone around you. But you don't even know you got the disease. Okay? So that's the purpose of self-quarantining, staying out of public, staying away from folk and all of that. That's the purpose of it, because you don't know who you might be infecting. It's bad enough you be in your own house and not even know it, okay? But then somewhere along the way, after that incubation period, if you start to have this dry cough, a fever is a true telling of it, along with the dry cough, shortness of breath, or tiredness, man, make sure you get tested. Make sure that you get tested. Difficulty breathing in severe cases as it goes, because this is a lung virus. This is a lung virus. Coughing, fever, shortness of breath, or weariness, okay? Make sure you get yourself tested, okay? Now, how do you do that? Okay? Here's one easy way. If you got a computer, you got a phone, go to www.musc.care, C-A-R-E, musc.care. And it's going to take you to the MUSC Health Virtual Care site. Okay? Once you get there, scroll down, because you have to go through this site first before you can actually go further. You can't just walk in MUSC and get checked. You have to go through this protocol. The site says if you are concerned about coronavirus, COVID-19, or experiencing respiratory or flu-like symptoms such as a fever or a cough, MUSC recommends you speak to an online virtual provider. Virtual COVID-19 screenings are free. You just use the code COVID-19 when you log in. So when you get there, you have to set up an account. And if you scroll down, it has an audio, a 45-second audio of how you set up an MUSC Health virtual care account and log in and go from there. And they'll tell you, they'll walk you through the process, okay? to figure out if you need to come and be tested or not. Okay? That's how you get in the door. That's how you get in the door. It's unfortunate that that's the protocol, but that's the protocol. Somebody said respect the process. Yeah. It's unfortunate, in a panic-stricken time, it is a process, okay? So, please, folks, in closing, you've heard the rules consistently. You have heard the rules, and it's a whole lot of people on here. Please spread this out, share it out to people. Encourage people to please just take an hour of their time to watch, or watch a little bit at a time, okay? So people start to understand what we're up against. And I must ask, forgive me for going over an hour tonight. Forgive me. But we need to make sure that we are washing our hands frequently during the day. Not just after you come in the house, not just before meals, not just after you use the bathroom. And there's some people that don't even do those. Just being real. Make sure that you're washing your hands frequently using soap. Okay? Soap. Not just the sanitizer thing. You got to get to the times when you're washing it with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. Okay? Please. Please. It's known that this works to reduce the number of pathogens on the skin. Okay? Social distancing. Maintaining a space of 6 feet between you and the next person, wherever you are. I don't care if you're in the grocery store in line. Just tell that person who tried to get in front of you, hey, I'm sorry, I'm in line, but I'm social distancing. I'm behind that person that's 6 feet from me. Don't get in front of me. Social distancing, we have to do it. And somebody please tell all of our folks that get on camera and whatever, got these press conferences going on, the governor and all of them, let them know. You can't keep telling me to stand 6 feet from everybody and you standing bunched up with people. You can't do it. That's that hypocrite thing. If you really want people to follow what you're saying about social distancing, make sure that people see you socially distancing. Okay? So we got frequent hand washing with soap and water for at least 20 seconds, social distancing, no contact whatsoever, okay? No handshaking, no fist bumping, no elbow bumping. Just understand that elbow, because they said elbow bump. But where are you taught in this dispensation of time to cough if you have to cough in public? In your elbow, right? I'm going to cough right here and then fist, then elbow bump somebody, right? Not wise. Not wise. All you church folks, stop all that hugging. Stop all that hugging. If you want to communicate, if you want to greet somebody or say good day to somebody, there's a couple of ways you can do it like this. You can just nod your head. You can cover your own heart and nod your head. You can do it like that. Anything other than having one-on-one contact. These are the recommendations that's going to help us to minimize the exposure of the coronavirus, the COVID-19, and transmitting it one to another. These are proven to help, especially if you ain't going to stay in the house. But the word is stay in the house. And if you're out and you're in a gathering, the gatherings need to be restricted to 10 people or less. 10 people or less. I say 5 people or less, or better still, just stay home if you can. Shout out again to our healthcare workers. Y'all are amazing. Law enforcement, our teachers that's out here in the street, our organizations that are out here in the street, still taking care of people. I was going to talk about the number of good deeds that I've seen. Man, I see people now all over, especially in social media, folks that are just doing good things for people. Catching somebody short money in the grocery store line and paying for their bill and things like that, man. That's what this is all about. If we got to take something else out of this whole tragedy, this catastrophe, this calamity, this hard times that we're on, take the fact that inside of all of this, we have an opportunity to do good, to live good, to do right by one another. Let's turn this around, because we've been dogging each other out for a long time in America. Let's turn this thing around. Let's change some hearts and minds back to being the village, the community that we're supposed to be. And there's the broadcast, the breaking broadcast, news. Here's the headline for you. The headline. If y'all didn't realize it, I just want y'all to realize it as I get on off. Going outdoors has not been canceled, although it's encouraged to stay in, okay? But listen, music has not been canceled. Family has not been canceled. Reading has not been canceled. Friends have not been canceled. Singing has not been canceled. Laughing has not been canceled. And hope has not been canceled. So let's embrace what we have. All of these things: music, family, reading, friends, singing, laughing, and hope. Let's embrace those things and not allow ourselves to be consumed by this coronavirus and this pandemic. No matter what. You got to keep your head up. Y'all take care. I love y'all. We'll talk again soon. I'll probably be back on Sunday unless something else comes up of dire consequence, okay? I love y'all once again. Keep your head up. Pastor Dixon, I'm out. Peace.